Halo, one of the most beloved FPS franchises in the history of gaming industry, that revolutionized the FPS genre and allowed Microsoft to set their foot in the gaming industry, allowing it to become the equivalent of the giant that collects gaming companies like Infinity Stones today. Halo was a big thing when it came out at the time, so big in fact that it created multi-millionaire franchise, countless accessories, toys, novels, comics, and even Halo-themed merchandise. Master Chief at this point has become icon and the face of not only Xbox and Microsoft, but of the gaming culture itself. Halo has brought countless gamers together across the globe. With its epic single-player campaign and online multiplayer experience, it gave players numerous fun and memorable moments after time and time again. So it's not far-fetched to say that any gamer knows or at least heard of what Halo is, save for that sad little 1% of cavemen that live under the rock and somehow manage to stay oblivious to the awesomeness that was and is Halo. And tragically enough, I was one of those outcasts. I am a simple gamer, and this is my glorious journey of discovering this franchise. And a simple review for one of its newest installments, Halo Infinite. Halo games are universally beloved. They took gaming space by storm whenever they came out on Xbox, and yet somehow I never really properly heard about this franchise until around 2015. And even then I only started playing Halo in 2021 because of Infinite. It could be because I was born in 2001, back when the first Halo came out, and didn't really properly get into gaming until around 2013. Now that I think about it, this whole franchise is exactly the same age as me. Huh. To be fair, I did hear snippets about it here and there, but the only thing I really knew about it was that you are this big green dude called Master Chief. He has this cool looking assault rifle, and he fights against those weird looking aliens, and that was it really. I somewhat properly heard about it when Halo 5 trailer dropped. I remember there was this whole sequence in the trailer where Master Chief was walking through the desert clad in rags, which looked pretty dope. After that I didn't really pay much attention to it. The last thing I heard about it was a few months later when people were ripping through the game for apparently having really weak storyline with some bad decisions and inconsistency in it. Fast forward to 2020, we get the first proper glance at Halo Infinite in a brand new gameplay premiere trailer. I was fascinated by what I saw. I liked the game art style, the way it played, the way the whole map was open, showing you numerous opportunities about how you could go around accomplishing the mission. I liked the guns, the sound design, the diversity in enemies. Not to mention, the grappling hook looked pretty fun to use. I was intrigued for the first time and became really interested in this franchise. But as much as I wanted to play Halo Infinite straight away, I didn't want to go into the newest installment without trying the older games first, in order to understand who those characters were and where they came from. So I sat down, downloaded Master Chief Collection on Steam, and started my journey from where it all began. Halo Combat Evolved.
We are are starting to see some great games come back to the map, but this is one of the coolest I've ever seen. This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. It's the first time they've debuted it.
Well, Halo's been one of the best games played. They won the 2003 awards, and there's just more people playing Halo right now than any other game.
It's one of those games that compels you to pull all-nighters. It's that good. People who have been looking for the last few years for a game as good as Half-Life or Rare's GoldenEye 007 will be pretty pleased to learn that they don't really need to look anymore. It's here. It's Halo.
All I need to know is, did we lose them?
I think we both know the answer to that.
Sensors show inbound Covenant boarding craft. We are re-engaging the enemy.
We are leaving this ship platoon and engaging the Covenant on solid ground.
We're entering the ring's atmosphere in 5.
You sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon, one with vast, unimaginable power.
The flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life.
There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Halo Combat Evolved is a good example of saying old but gold, but as good as it was, it still can be confusing for newcomers story-wise. When I started playing this game, I was a bit confused with what was going on since the game starts right in the middle of somewhere in a story where this huge spaceship is apparently chased by some aliens. You as the Master Chief wake up in one of the pods. After that you fight through the waves of enemies and escape this spaceship, only to make an emergency landing on this ring-thing called Halo, and after that you are pretty much trying to figure out where you are and what is going on. That's it, no backstories of who you are playing as, who those guys are, what is this ring, or what are you being chased by. The only place where you can get all of your answers on those questions is sadly only novels, but not in the game. Fortunately, I knew the basics of the story, so I was good to go. Halo Combat Evolved surprised me with its smooth and responsive gameplay, which felt really good. I can already tell why this game was such a big deal back in the day. Aside from the gameplay, I also want to talk about the art style and the visuals of this game, which was remastered for the Master Chief Collection. The original look has its unique feeling to it, but I mostly played on the remastered graphics, which looked phenomenal. Sometimes I couldn't help but stop playing, just to stare at the amazing visuals this game presented in front of your eyes. It was that breathtaking. Apart from that, I also want to mention just how diverse the level design is in this game. At first, you start in a kind of empty rocky area, then you move on in the snow-filled plains, at one point you end up on an island, and later on you are desperately trying to battle your way through the Covenant and the flood-infested jungles. With top-notch gameplay combined with an amazing art style and phenomenal level design, you got an amazing game in your hands. I enjoyed my first time with this universe and loved the game from start to finish. That is not to say I haven't suffered through some levels, literally. Brother! Just get through this! Bro! I hate this thing. Look at that guy casually looking. It's a common occurrence that when somebody tries to make a good sequel to a really successful game, they fail, most of the time. Which fortunately wasn't the case with Halo 2. Just when I thought I had seen it all, Halo 2 once again surprised me with its amazing remastered visual look. The art style and the attention to detail were so good in Halo 2 Anniversary Edition that I was shocked the first time I saw it. In fact, those remastered visuals looked even better than the remastered visuals of the first game. Another additional thing they introduced here that pleasantly surprised me was the ability to dual-wield some weapons. And let me tell you, grabbing two needle guns in each hand and gunning down the mobs of Covenant scum throughout the levels was the most badass experience I had in a recent time of gaming. But as cool and as fun that sounds, the real star of the show here was the storyline of this game. For the first time in a Halo games, you get to see the perspective from the Covenant side, in the form of the Arbiter. The big shot Commander Elite who got dishonored for failing to protect the Halo ring in the first game, and spent all of his time trying to make up for his sins as a prophet's lapdog Arbiter, only to later on discover that the whole religion and the organization he served has betrayed him and his kind. I still vividly remember the scene where he realizes the truth and you can actually feel the betrayal in his voice.
Tartarus, the prophets have betrayed us.
Overall, Halo 2 was an epic journey from start to finish, even more so than Halo 1. Halo 3 pretty much starts off where Halo 2 ended, and it finally fulfills every Halo fanboy's wet dream and makes Master Chief and Arbiter not only officially meet each other, but work as a team. I was a bit disappointed when I found out there wasn't a remastered graphics option for this game, not because the game looked better or anything, but because I was so used to Halo 2's sharp, good-looking art style that it felt alien to look at Halo game with anything that didn't look like the Anniversary Edition art style. Aside from my addiction to the remastered visuals, the game looked pretty decent for its time. The gameplay was similar to the Halo 2, and story-wise it beautifully wraps up the plot from the previous two Halo games and adds it with a bitter yet satisfying conclusion to the whole trilogy. Halo ODST had me intrigued from the start, and the reason for it was pretty simple. In ODST, you play not as a superkinetic machine or a highly trained agile alien, but simply as a soldier. That's it. For the first time in a franchise, you get to see the war from the regular soldier's perspective who is serving in ODST. A special squad of highly trained soldiers, which you happen to team up a lot in the past with the Master Chief. If you don't remember them from the previous games, don't worry, that's probably because they died a lot before you could even notice them, so don't strain your brain. The story was pretty decent. It takes place between Halo 2 and 3 and tells the story of the squad of ODSTs who try to find each other and make an escape from the ruined city after it has been destroyed by Covenant in Halo 2. While the gameplay is pretty much a carbon copy of Halo 3, the atmosphere of the game and the soundtrack alone is why this game is worth it to play. It's not as action-packed or as epic as the previous Halo games, but it is a pretty decent spin-off story you can play and enjoy.
Gamma Station, this is Fermi at RSO. Unconfirmed report of an in-system slit space rupture.
Impossible. Check your source.
Reading multiple pings below the orbital defense grid.
Oh, this can't be happening.
There's no mistake. It's them. Winter contingency has been declared. All units are mobilized and ready.
This is Sierra 320, prep for combat insertion.
What the hell was that? We're coming in hot. Hold on. We just lost our bird.
Oh my god. What the hell is happening down there?
Down here.
Kidding, just dropped off my map.
Overrun. We'll hold this position as long as we can. I need you in that fight, Noble One. Noble One, come in. Noble One, do you read me?
This is Sierra 259. You got Spartans on the ground, sir. We're not going anywhere.
Halo Reach. Bungie's last installment in the series before they left and moved on to create a Destiny franchise. Halo Reach being the last game from them, Bungie made sure to go out with a style with this one. From all Halo games I played in the Master Chief collection, Halo Reach was the one that I felt most attached to. I am a sentimental person in general, so it didn't take me long to get attached to the Noble team and especially to my character, Noble 6. It really showed the dark side of this franchise and the whole conflict between Covenant and the humanity. Up until now, Spartans were treated as the war heroes who could accomplish everything and do the impossible. All we ever heard about them was just how epic and amazing they were. This is actually the first time we see the truth of reality. Spartans, as special and as strong they are, still bleed and die the same. Halo Reach tells the tragic tale of the fall of the rich. the planet inhabited by humans which gets invaded by the Covenant forces. You take on the role of the Spartan called Noble 6, a newly assigned soldier to a group of Spartans called Noble Team. As the story progresses throughout the game, you see from this Spartan's perspective as the Reach slowly falls and gets conquered by enormous Covenant ships. The game tells the tale of the losing battle, where no matter how much you try to fight, there is no winning it. The only thing that keeps you going throughout the game is the hope that your sacrifice will win something in the end. Halo Reach was a special experience for me personally. This game touched my soul and forever engraved itself in my heart as one of the best experiences I had in the single-player campaign games. The ending of this game, where all of the Noble Team members have died and Noble 6 is left all alone on a dying planet to fight the endless forces of the enemy after his sacrifice, had me crying like a 5-year-old. No! No! No. Come on, keep going. No. And with Halo Reach out, Bungie left Microsoft and Halo. After them, 343 Industries became in charge of Halo franchise. Surely a company named after a Halo character would keep a momentum going, expand and even go beyond what Bungie accomplished, right? Now, don't misunderstand, Halo 4 is a great game on its own, but it's just not a good Halo game. Let's talk about the gameplay. One important change they introduced in Halo 4 was sprinting. Now, sprinting was also available in Halo Reach in a form of armor ability, but it couldn't really be used to run around like a headless chicken and kill things like in Call of Duty. It was mostly used to cover a large distance faster, and that was it really. In Halo 4, sprinting wasn't a skill but a mechanic of the control itself, and it drastically changed the way game played, and it just didn't feel like Halo anymore. The only thing I remember from Halo 4 was the relationship between Cortana and the Master Chief, which was more exploded on, and of course,
Cortana.
God damn.
While this game, it fell short compared to the previous games in the franchise, ultimately became my least favorite amongst the other Halo games. Phew, that concludes my quick summarized opinion on the entirety of the Master Chief collection. Now, before we jump into Halo Infinite, I still needed to play a few games beforehand, and those games were Halo 5, Halo Wars, and Halo Wars 2. Sadly, I don't own Xbox, so I can't play Halo 5, and right now I'm too broke to buy Halo Wars or Halo Wars 2. So I did the next best thing, which was watching a quick summarized version of those stories on YouTube. Long story short, from the looks of it, Cortana went batshit insane in Halo 5, decided to enslave humanity, and that didn't end well. In Halo Wars, Banished are basically a mercenary group of alien species that rebelled against the Covenant, and decided to make their own club, and they also use weapons from UFC as well as the Covenant, so they are basically the worst of the two worlds. Now with this quick and basic summary, we can jump right into the Halo Infinite finally. So buckle up, since we finally reached the game I played all of those games for. Halo Infinite is a newest installment in a series by 343 Industries, and unlike previous Halo games which were more linear based, this Halo title is open world. Jumping into Halo Infinite, I was a bit surprised when I was pretty much shown right into the middle of the action, with Master Chief taking on the waves of the enemies. I was even more shocked when I saw freaking Atriox of the Banished coming out of nowhere and beating the living shit out of the Master Chief before yeeting him off the spaceship. Later on, the game introduces us to the new supporting character, which is the pilot of Echo 216. He is the one who finds us amongst the wreckage, saves us, and restarts our armor. Sometime later, we found ourselves back on the spaceship, and now all ready to kick some serious ass. This is the moment where we finally take control of the Master Chief and start the game. I want to say straight away that gameplay feels amazing. I just love the way the controls respond to you. Everything feels smooth, weapons looked and sound awesome, enemies looked cool, and actually posed a challenge on heroic difficulty, not gonna lie. There are several power abilities you can join for your armor that are cool, but nothing beats using grapple shot. I don't know how 343 Industries did it, but grapple shot in Halo Infinite has got to be one of the best implemented grapple hook mechanics I have seen in a game so far. Nothing beats the feeling of hitting yourself with a grapple shot from the distance and pressing the crouch button as you get close to the ground in order to use your newly jet velocity to slide across the ground to satisfying speed and momentum. After you are done with the opening missions, you get to meet yet another new character, which is called Weapon, who is an AI partner for Master Chief. She is pretty much Cortana 2.0, just a bit younger. After that, you land shortly on a new Halo ring, which is called Zeta Halo in this game. This is the moment we are finally set free to free roam the open world of Zeta Halo. Zeta Halo looks pretty amazing, especially with the parts where you can see the ground breaking, revealing the Forerunner technology underneath the ground, which sometimes creates a pretty looking amazing artificial canyons. In open world, you got a bunch of stuff you can do aside from doing main storyline missions. For example, throughout Zeta Halo there are banished outposts called FOBs which you can capture. Capturing those outposts reveals various UFC Marine Squad locations who are a bit of a trouble and require your helping hand. It also reveals the location of some high-ranking banished officers as well as some banished facilities. Attacking a high-ranking banished officer's outpost lets you have some mini-boss battle with banished high-ranker, which after beating them rewards you with a modified version of the alien guns which you can later summon at the captured FOB outposts. Facilities on the other hand are more of the banished military bases which are far bigger than your typical outposts and require some more firepower and dedication to destroy and capture. Aside from those, capturing FOB outposts gives you opportunities to have safe places where you can go, call in vehicles, or get some weapon and ammunition on your way towards the objective. They also serve as the fast travel points throughout the map. Capturing those outposts and completing your objectives helps you level up your own captured FOB outposts, which allows you then call better vehicles, gear up your marines with a better gear, or get your head on some good modified versions of UFC weapons. Aside from FOBs and facilities throughout Zeta Halo, you will find Spartan armor cores as well as Spartan Marine armories which are spread throughout the map. Spartan armor cores are things that allow you to upgrade your armor abilities, such as shortening the time it takes to reload your next grapple shot or upgrading and strengthening your energy shields. Marine armory on the other hand unlocks free cosmetics which you can use in multiplayer. As far as the story goes, it continues off where Halo 5 left off, well, kinda. After the events of Halo 5, where Cortana tried to enslave humanity, she has been captured on Zeta Halo with the help of the weapon. Master Chief was supposed to deliver her back to Infinity for the deletation, but before he could do that, Infinity got attacked by the banished forces and got demolished. The banished forces are all around Zeta Halo, which has been damaged by some sort of explosion while Master Chief was knocked out in space before he was rescued by Echo 216. With no sight of Cortana and impending danger of banished forces, it is up to the Master Chief to find out what happened to Cortana, stop the banished forces, and discover the secrets of this Halo ring with the help of the weapon as well as the Echo 216. The story was pretty decent, I won't say much about it for the sake of not spoiling it. I liked how they showed Master Chief's more human side in this one. They already did that in Halo 4, but it was more exploited on in this game. You can actually see how damaged and hurt he is after the events of Halo 4 as well as the events of Halo 5. I also thought that the new characters they introduced in this game were pretty well written and the main villain was, decent enough I guess. One criticism I want to mention though is about the level design. Zeta Halo is an open world, right? But it is kinda bland. As fun as the sandbox and the gunplay is, fighting in the same location and in the same looking Forerunner cave levels over and over kind of gets boring at some point. It would have been definitely more satisfying and enjoyable to play the game if the level design were to be more diverse, I would say. Take a look at the Halo 1 for example. You got snow, jungle, island and rocky mountain level design throughout the whole game. It just makes game feel fresh no matter how many times you play through it. Aside from that, I really enjoyed my time with Halo Infinite, and like I said, the gunplay in the sandbox were a lot of fun to mess around with. Definitely looking forward to whatever they are going to add in the future in terms of DLC or some weapon and enemy variety, who knows. For now, I'll give this game solid 8 out of 10 and totally recommend to those guys who haven't played it yet. Oh man, now that was one heck of a journey, not gonna lie. I really enjoyed my time with those games and I'm just I am really pleasantly surprised with how much fun I had experiencing the story from start to finish. I guess I'm a bit regretful that I just found out about those games and wasn't a part of the hype gang back in the day. Definitely would have loved to be there at the launch day of those titles. But it is later than never, I guess. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my little journey of discovering those games. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, while I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya!